Hello and welcome to Exponents Awake. I'm your host, Jonathan. Hope you're having a great day. It seems like it's been forever since I put on my XJW hat, but it's only just been a couple of weeks since I posted last. I've just been very busy with my creative endeavors, with writing and so on, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about judgment. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I've covered this on the channel before. If I have, I apologize. But it's just what's going on with the current political spectrum right now. There's a lot of division, and it's brought up the thought of people being judged for their beliefs. So I'm going to run the introduction and we'll go from there. If you're on Facebook or any other sort of social media, you probably have friends who share your views, and then you have friends who don't necessarily share your views, and they're very far apart right now. The subject of people being judgy as Jehovah's Witnesses came up a couple of years ago when it came to the Lloyd Evans thing. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different subject. Let's just say people were taking sides when it came to whether or not someone's actions were appropriate or not. Anyway, what we're talking about now is in a political sense when it comes to the Republican Party, Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, and that sort of thing. I've not been very political on this channel because this is not really my thing. You know, as someone who never voted as a Jehovah's Witness, I really didn't have a whole lot to say when it came to politics. Though it can be a bit of a train wreck and a dumpster fire sometimes, depending on what your political leanings are. As far as my own, I'm somewhere kind of in the middle, but leaning left. I believe that people should have freedoms, have rights, right to choose, and so on when it comes to the way that they live their life, how their bodily autonomy, that sort of thing. I don't believe that people should just be handed money in every instance, so I guess that's more my right-handed thinking. But, you know, just like everybody, politics, religion, whatever the thing is, it can be pretty nuanced. So that's where I stand as far as what I believe, so in case anybody was wondering. But when it comes to judging, I've seen a lot of posts lately from family and from friends that believe that the election is going to be something that's beneficial for the United States. And you know what? That's fine. Everybody has their own beliefs, and we shouldn't be treated like garbage because we believe one way versus the other. That works whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning. You know, you have your beliefs, and that's fine. But what made me think about this is the way that you believe and basically who you attach your loyalties to can come back to bite you. Going back to the Jehovah's Witness thing, what would happen if you committed a sin or changed your thoughts on doctrine or so on, so that you're either disfellowshipped or you have decided to leave and are disassociated? Well, a person will put judgment on you and treat you poorly. There is no thinking about the circumstances of the other person. You don't have all the information, but you decide that this is the way it is. You don't give any sort of leeway in that, and you decide they are bad news, so you want nothing to do with them. And that sort of a thinking can carry over into the XJW spectrum as well. Because what happens when somebody leaves, say, a country, and they are trying to get away from a certain thing, so they go to this other country, and then suddenly they are acting in the way they did in the other country, and they haven't really escaped it. They just sort of brought it with them. This is something I saw when I was living in Northwest Indiana. People living in Chicago were trying to get away from poverty, trying to get away from violence that happens in inner cities, and they would move to the suburbs in Illinois or Northwest Indiana, where I was at. And suddenly you had the same sort of thing happening in those neighborhoods. So, you take your problems with you. I'm not sure how this really relates. As I said before, I don't necessarily prepare these things. I just sort of say what's in my head and my heart. So if I ramble a bit, I apologize. If you've been with my channel this long, then you've gotten used to it, I'm sure. What was my point? Okay, so you carry the thinking with you from the Jehovah's Witnesses to not Jehovah's Witnesses. And let's say that you are someone who is left in the political world, and you see someone who is posting things from the right.
And just to be clear, if the election had gone the other way, it'd be the same conversation, but just from a different perspective.
And it offends you because they are saying certain things. So you go ahead and you talk about that to them. And there's a lot of butting heads and a lot of hurt feelings and opinions. Is it appropriate to do that? Well, it is appropriate to speak your mind. There's nowhere that says you have to be quiet and just sit back and take whatever is being dished out to you. It's not like it was where you just had to shut up and toe the line. And is it possible to have differing views on religion and politics and still be friendly towards one another and be good friends? Of course. If we have respect for other human beings and the way that they think, we'll realize that, we're not all the same, and we'll treat each other with respect. With that said, everything that we do and say has some sort of a consequence. And if your political beliefs fall in an area that take away the rights of other people, and those people are upset that their rights are being taken away, we cannot expect for there not to be any sort of fallback on you. You may not like it, but people are going to be upset with you if you continue to constantly say how your side won and just deal with it. That's not going to go over well with a lot of the people that you know. And the consequences that can happen are that there can be a falling out with people. When it came to the Jehovah's Witnesses aspect of it, there was no choice in it. You are mandated to shun someone, be it friend or family, because that's the way you're commanded to do that. You have no say in that. The organization will maintain that, yes, it's a conscience matter, but their literature, their videos, they all show something different, that you have to. It's a matter of loyalty, that you have to come to this decision not to talk to friends or family. When you're no longer part of that, you have that free will to make a decision whether you want to have someone in your life who is polar opposite when it comes to your beliefs, or does something that you find distasteful or you just can't live with. Maybe you're more conservative and certain things that people may do, it may offend you. The thing is we all have one life to live. Sounds like I'm talking about a soap opera. Anyway, we have one life to live, and we're free to live the way that we want to within reason. To take away someone's rights to bodily autonomy, to who they can and can't love, is wrong, in my opinion. And if you have a view that says that's not appropriate because it's against Bible principles or conservative thoughts, well, it's not really the place of it's not really the place of us to enforce that upon another person. And if people disagree with me, that might be, a consequence on me for saying that in a public forum. But the point is I'm not going to judge somebody else for the way that they live, the way that they believe, if it's not harmful to others. But regardless of whatever your beliefs are, we can avoid being toxic to one another if we try. It's tough, but you can have a different view to someone else and show them respect as a human being, whether they're conservative or they're liberal. And as far as judging is concerned, there is a difference between judgment in the self-righteous way of Jehovah's Witnesses and basically calling people out for inappropriate behaviors. Because if we can't call someone out for something that is truly wrong, not because of just your opinion, but because of common sense, because of society in general, then how do we ever improve? So like all things, it takes a balance of trying to put your opinion forth for people to consider, but doing it in a way that is respectful of their opinions and feelings as well, and taking into account that people have rights and we want to respect those rights. So that's all I have to say on the subject. I don't know if this was a great video. Hopefully, let me know by liking and sharing, subscribing and all that, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.